Hello, folks. Welcome back to the series Claude for Marketers. And today we're going to talk about Claude for Marketing Managers. Marketing managers have two time sinks that never go away, no matter how experienced they get over time. The first one is decks. Someone always needs a PowerPoint, a campaign debrief, probably for leadership, a budget proposal, a strategy overview. And as a marketing manager, you probably spend an hour building slides that should have just taken 15 minutes because you always start from a blank file and then you format everything by hand. And the second one, the bottleneck, is spreadsheets. See, trackers, calendars, budget sheets. The structure is always roughly the same. The columns are also always roughly the same. Yet, every time one is needed, someone on the team builds it from scratch in Excel, which takes about 45 minutes to an hour, right? Depending on how different it is from the last. See, both of these are production problems. The thinking behind the deck exists, right? The content strategy behind the calendar exists. But what eats up your time is turning that thinking into a formatted file. And this episode covers both of them. So, two skills, PPTX for decks and XLS for spreadsheets, and a surprise at the end. So, stay tuned and let's get on to it. Every role in a marketing team produces content, right? But the marketing manager is the curator because they curate all the content and produce the most deliverables. So, let's say your content writer writes a copy, right? Your social media manager produces the post, but a marketing manager curates all of them and produces decks for leadership, trackers for teams, reports for clients, briefs for agencies. So the output for this kind of a job is always a formatted file. And formatted files almost take the most time to produce, even when the thinking behind them is already done. So this is the pattern that I see most often, right? A campaign wraps up, the manager has the data, what the results were, what worked, what did not work in the campaign, what the recommendation is for the next time. The thinking aspect is holistic and complete. And then they spend about 90 to 120 minutes building a debrief deck because every slide needs to be laid out. Every section needs a heading, and none of that thinking about formatting is actually related to thinking about the campaign. Now, the PowerPoint X doesn't replace the thinking, nor does the XLS, that is the Excel skill. However, you're not offloading the judgment, you're actually offloading the production aspect. See, the manager still decides what the debrief says, but they don't curate it like by hand or part by part. And the same logic applies to spreadsheets, right? The content calendar structure isn't hard to figure out. It's just weeks on one axis, platforms on another, with columns for topic, format, owner, and status. Every marketing manager already knows that. And setting it up from scratch in Excel, getting the columns right, deciding how to handle the color coding, that's about 45 minutes wasted that you did not have to go through. So, two demos in this video, and let's get on with the deck first. Okay, before I get on with it, I want to show you a little tool which is called Whisper Flow. So instead of typing the entire prompt, I'm going to show you how you can dictate the entire prompt, right? So we've seen this skill, the PowerPoint one, in episode one with the campaign kickoff tag. This time it's a debrief. So I'm going to take the same brand, that is Orenda, and I'm going to create a debrief deck with a different structure from the kickoff, right? It has leads with results, moves through what worked and what didn't, and it closes with recommendations. So let me show you what the brief actually looks like. So I'm going to quickly come here and I'm going to, I can either click this or I can hold function. I'm going to click this quickly and then I'm going to dictate it, right? So build a campaign brief, a campaign debrief on Orenda Skincare. It's the Diwali 2025 campaign debrief. The audience is the internal leadership team. The campaign period was between 15th of October to 15th of November 2025. The results are that the revenue was up by 41% in comparison to last year's October 2024. That means it beat the target of 35%. New customer acquisition was around let's say 2003 which beat the target of 2000. The ROAS was about 4.6 times against the target of 4.2, and email open rate was about 31% against the target of 28. What worked in this campaign was Instagram Reels outperformed static posts by 3 times on reach. Influencer partnerships drove about 33% of the new customer acquisitions. The gift set messaging resonated strongly with the gifting buyer segment. What did not work? Well, Google display ads underdelivered. So the spend of about 18% of the total budget for 9% of the revenue was utilized for Google display ads. The email list fatigue was visible by week 3. So open rates had dropped by 6 points on the third week. And the recommendations from my side is that increase the real production budget for the next campaign, reduce the display ads allocation to about 10%, and redirect it to the influencers. Also, set a cap on the email sequence at about 2 cents per campaign and format this entire PPT in a 10 slide debrief deck. So, show me the results first, then the channel breakdown, then what exactly worked, what did not, and then tell it the recommendations and a final summary slide. All right. So Whisper's Flow is going to do its magic. And whatever I just dictated, it's going to prop up on my screen. There we go. Everything, right? So I'm going to change this to either Haiku or Sonnet. Let's do Haiku only. I do not want to, unnecessarily do it. So see, Claude wants to use generate from Gamma. Now, this is something generate from Gamma that it's using because I have connected my Gamma using a connector. So let's say I deny this for now. Okay, so this is not, I don't want to use Gamma. Let me see how quickly it gets done. Right. Okay, it's going to pick up Gamma itself. Gamma might not be available in your. Let me create this as a polished PowerPoint deck. Okay, it's working now, folks. There was a little bit of a problem with Gamma, but Gamma is another PowerPoint tool that you can use to create your campaign decks or to create your presentations. So let's see. See, the campaign debrief deck has one particular job. It just needs to tell the leadership what happened, why it happened, and what to do differently in a format they can read in under 10 minutes. And this skill is basically turning it into a deck. Okay, the skill's job is basically to turn this into a particular format where they're making an entire polished 10 slide campaign brief using PPTX Gen JS, which is PPTX generation JavaScript. Now it's doing it, it's creating everything, it's removing the buggy file, it's creating the entire deck. While it's doing it, I also want to quickly address that all of this has been covered in a previous video. So if you have not seen it before, well, I'll place it in the iCard above. So quickly go see the first two videos so that you can understand this better, especially the PPTX skill. Now, the PowerPoint presentation is created. I'm going to quickly refresh this so that I can see it. Sometimes it's a bit slow. Why is this blank? Let me see. There you go. It takes a little bit of time. So I used Haiku, so the formatting is a little bit off. But if I turn this to Sonnet, it'll be much better. In my personal experience, Sonnet does do way, way, way better when it comes to creating your PPTs. I just used Haiku because I wanted to show you how to do this The Sonnet version has been covered in the previous video, so I would say that you should go and check them out. Well, see, this is a tense like debrief deck, and we just saw this. The structure is very logical, is the exact structure that I had mentioned here. So it goes from title to key results to revenue performance, so on and so forth, right? But let's see now how to use the Excel skill, because this we have seen before, right? What we need to now venture out into is the new skill. So let's get on with that one. Right, folks, let's see how the Excel one works. So before I do that, number one, I'm going to change this to Sonnet because this is going to be analysis driven work. So before we get on to this, right, if I want data to analyze, I need to first start by getting the data in the form of a sample marketing data for me. Now, for the sake of brevity, I had already created this, but I'm also going to give you a prompt of how you can do this yourself. So I'm going to quickly record. So Claude allows you to record your voice here as well to dictate. However, I prefer Whisper Flow because it also is an AI driven, I would say, dictating tool that edits out the ums and ers. Okay. So I'm going to press function this time and I'm going to show you how it's done. Alrighty. So generate sample marketing data for me. It should have two tables. First, campaign performance with columns for month, channel, impressions, clicks, spend, and conversions. Make it 6 months across four different channels: paid search, paid social, display, and email. Second table should be a lead funnel data with columns for month, source, leads generated, MQLs, SQLs, and closed deals. Make it realistic but messy. Some inconsistent formatting, a few missing values, mixed capitalization. I want to clean it up. All right. So here you can see this, right? So it's written should have two tables. You know how it's formatted this? So Claude won't be able to do that. So which is exactly why I like it. So now I'm going to quickly take a pause here and you see it's reading the Excel skill to create the marketing data Excel file as well. This can happen and I had covered this in my previous videos where I showed you how to do this exactly by extracting data from reports, which are PDF documents, into Excel files, right? And let me quickly take a cut here, and then you can see how it will come out. So let's wait for this to get processed. All right, folks, it ran the command and it's given this data called marketing data. It has the campaign performance as well as the lead funnel raw data. The formatting is a bit off. So now what I want to do is I'm going to quickly download this and save this in my downloads as marketing data. And now I'm going to show you how to clean this up, right? So let's now clean this data, fix the inconsistencies, and flag missing values. Okay. For that, I'm going to quickly connect this right here. I'm going to add the file and I'm going to show you how to do this exactly. Clean this data, fix the inconsistencies, fill or flag the missing values, standardize the formatting, and build me a professional Excel file with two sheets, one for campaign performance and one for lead funnel. Use live Excel formulas and not hard coded values. It's very important that you use live Excel formulas so that whenever you change the specific aspects, specific numbers in your sheet, it does not generate something that's different from earlier ones, right? So I'm going to quickly wait for this. So they, if you see it's, you can't see it here, but the Excel file I've attached it. You had a glimpse of it before. Now it's reading the XLS skill. This is the skill, right? I last time explained what all of this is, right? And if you see, this is a proprietary skill, which basically means that Anthropic owns this skill. So I'm going to quickly wait for this to run, and then I will show you the difference between the two of them. All right, folks, it is here. If you see the campaign performance completely formatted, we saw in the last one how it was different, and the lead funnel also completely formatted with the missing numbers reported in terms of the impressions, in terms of the CTR, if there are any missing numbers, they're completely here, and the entire channel summary for each of them is here with the CTR, CVR, CPC, right? All of the important ones that you require. This is the campaign performance and the lead funnel. It has calculated the leads that were marked in yellow. These were the ones that were not there. If you see the yellow cells are estimated missing values. So it has done that. And if you see, the formulas are all dynamic. So it's right here. And now that I have done this, I have my clean data. Now, in this, right, I have shown you the difference. Let's do the analysis aspect in this as well. So, let me quickly say what the analysis aspect is, and let's get on with it. So, the analysis aspect, right? Okay, I'm going to quickly dictate this. Add a third sheet called analysis. Calculate the following metrics from the data: CTR by channel, cost per click, cost per lead, MQL to SQL conversion rate, SQL to close rate, and overall funnel conversion rate. Color code the performance: green for quartile, amber for mid, red for bottom, and also include a summary row, right? The lead funnel already has all of this, but let's see. It's going to create a third analysis sheet, and well, I'm going to take a step back. It's going to inspect the workbook structure first, and now it's going to build the analysis sheet. It's running the command, and it should be here in the next 4 to 5 seconds, actually. 4 to 5 minutes. Sorry, not seconds. So I'm going to quickly wait for this to run, and I will see you again. Okay, folks, I actually want to bring your attention to something here. It says that it's computed 330 formulas with zero errors. Now, if you see here, it actually also recalculates and checks for errors. There is an entire script that sees all of that, and it also fixes the path, runs it over. It creates the entire thing using scripts. Now, what's a script? Well, a script is nothing but a set of code that the machine runs in order to execute, let's say, XYZ step for you within the skill. Now, if you see, the analysis section has all four of them, they're live linked. Live linked basically means if you change numbers in A part, it automatically gets changed in part B. And all of this is here. See, one structural note per flagging. Display doesn't map into lead funnel data at all. So its CPL and funnel metrics are not applicable. If you ever get display attribution, those cells will need formulas. So see, it's giving you a warning also if something is missing, right? And that's the part. So if I go to analysis here, oops, if I go to analysis here, you can completely see the dashboard, right, of the entire thing, including the scorecard, right? It's all here, it's all available. You can completely see it. And you've seen the difference from the original one where we only had campaign performance and lead funnel to now also having analysis. Well, now let me quickly show you a little thing that I wanted to actually add here. And this is my little surprise in the end. So, now I know what happened over the last 6 months, right? But the question is, what should I do differently and how should I do differently if I wanted to impress my higher ups. Here's how I would do this. All right. So I'm going to quickly show you a little trick in my book that I use to impress my higher ups and the officials, which is to build an interactive HTML dashboard. All right. So using this campaign and funnel data, build me an interactive HTML dashboard. I want sliders or input fields for monthly ad spend per channel, target CTR, and target funnel conversion rate. As I adjust them, I want to see projected impressions, leads, MQLs, SQLs, closed deals, projected revenue. Assume the average deal size is of about 50,000 and blended ROAS, all updating in real time and make it clean and professional. Okay, now I've given this and let's see. It's going to build me an HTML interactive dashboard. So I'm going to quickly take a pause here, give it a moment to generate it. It does take a little bit longer than usual, and I will come back to you. All right, folks, it's done it. So, based on what I just asked it's done this entire dashboard, right? You might be confused that, oh, this is inside the Claude interface. That's not true. You can actually download the file from here and it gives you a marketing performance dashboard HTML, but it does show you the output sometimes in here. So here's how things change here, right? So let's say you see the sliders. Let's say I increase my paid ad spend to about 19,000, reduce my paid social, make display ads just 1,000, emails to be 1,000. So you see with how as you interact the numbers below are changing, right? And let's say if my target CTR, then once I change this, right, my lead to MQL rate, how that's going to be there, my MQL to SQL rate, how that's going to fluctuate, and the SQL to close rate, right? And what my total spend was. It also gives me the lead funnels and so on and so forth. If I do change these numbers and the projected revenue, it says where it's coming from. So right now I had put the others as zero, but the moment like I add this here and I change it to a little bit higher based on my older projections, you can see how this changes, right? Where the projected revenue is going to come from based on our past data and is doing the entire thing. Now, my question is that what if I tell it that based on what I just modeled, if I wanted some recommendations, right? Let me ask it for recommendations. Give me three budget reallocation recommendations. Let's say recommendations in plain English, right? I don't want all these buzzy, fancy words. So let's see if it can avoid the buzzy, fancy words and then see this, right? Looking at the current default state of the model, it's XYZ, XYZ. Here are the three recommendations. Move budget out of display into paid search. All right. Email is massively underinvested relative to its output. So invest more in emails and don't touch paid social until you fix your SQL to close rate. So you see from what I just modeled, it's given me three insights that I should focus on. And this is an added little spice that I wanted to show you. And now let's get on with just wrapping this up. All right, we've seen two separate skills from two separate jobs that needed to be done. But they share the same logic. And once you've seen it twice, it should now become a reflex in your body. See, The job of a marketing manager, I don't need to tell you if you're one, but if you don't know what a marketing manager does, is that they produce decisions and deliverables. The decisions of what a campaign should do, what results are, and what will the next quarter look like for your company. That's kind of an irreplaceable judgment, right? The deliverables, on the other hand, this is production work, and this is what the skills are going to absorb for you. So, in a real week, this might look like when the campaign wraps up on Friday. Monday morning, you can directly put in the results and the key observations into a brief, and you can create an entire deck out of it. At the same time, in the same week, when your content team needs a content calendar or they need some kind of analysis done, it can actually be done for you in seconds. And neither of those scenarios actually required you, the manager, to do the less. So, before I close for today, I have one question for you. What's the one spreadsheet that your team rebuilds from scratch every quarter that should just exist as a template by now? It could be a budget tracker, a reporting sheet, or a project plan. Something where everyone knows roughly what it needs to look like, but nobody has ever made the definitive version. I'm asking you because in the later episodes of this series, I will cover custom skills where I will build workflows specific to your team's exact formats, and knowing which spreadsheets actually cause you pain will help me design the demos better for you. So, the next episode covers performance marketers. So, we'll be getting data out of PDF reports and into working spreadsheets. If your role involves agency reports, platform exports, or any kind of PDF to data workflow, episode 6 is for you. The link will also be in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like this one too. See you. Have a great day.